All right, Rob Satch from Feedback Crunch. I am going to show you how to set up, we're doing a WordPress website that's Avada, which is using Gravity Forms, and we're working on conversions and Google Tag Manager with Google Ads and then Google Analytics. The last video, or part one of this, was we basically went through the Google Tag Manager. We said, hey, we made these triggers where if I click on the forms, if I click this phone number, that triggers as a conversion. If I go to get a quote and I fill it out, it loads a thank you page. Those are both triggers. Those triggers are being used to fire Google Analytics events. I showed you how to set up Google Analytics events. So go check that out. That's part one. Now we're going to get into Google Ads. Okay. And so the whole purpose of this, real quick, here's why you need to do this, because if you set up Google Ads that have really good conversion actions that are actually firing and they're really occurring and they're the bottom of funnel real conversion, you'll be able to do advertising that taps into that conversion action, which is the machine learning stuff. And over time, you'll be able to dial in a cost per acquisition goal. Like at first, you go through the learning period of a Google ad, and that Google ad will just kind of run experiments. You give it, daily budgets. You say, I want this conversion action, but it goes through a learning process and it just tries to get itself some conversions. While as it starts to ring the bell, it will find out, well, what is it that these users have in common? Who is it that's actually doing this action? And Google will apply what it's learning in its machine learning to make bids and cherry pick. If you just sit back just look at this real quick. If you want to see how this works, pick something that has a semantic change. So I'm always doing accountants near me, right? I'm always using this as an illustration. And I will tell you right now that these guys all kind of have, so I just did accountants near me. Look at these ads. I have an ad here. I have an ad there. And then if I were to say like business accountants, it's kind of the same, but it's a little bit different. And then if I were to say it again, if you make these searches a couple times and you start not taking, boom, that's a total different, like, how's that possible? I just saw two brand new groups in there. Well, what's happening is Google's making bets. So when you do conversion-based stuff, it's watching how people are acting and it sees this person's, poop or get off the pot. They don't actually do stuff. They don't look like they're interested, or it knows stuff that we don't even want to talk about, right? But just so you know, what we're trying to do is we're trying to hook up these conversion actions. And I like using Google Tag Manager. So we put Google Tag Manager on the site, and Google Tag Manager ends up being the thing that deploys all the triggers. It just basically ensures that if this happens, then that. So now what we want to do is we just made a thing where if I fill out this form, then a Google Analytics G4, which is the new one, will fire. So we did that. And we said, if we click that phone number, it will fire, and it's making an event inside of analytics. And the reason why we do that is because in about 24 hours, I'm going to come into these events. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to configuration. And when I'm on configuration, the events will show here, and I'm going to turn those two into conversion actions. And what will happen then is I'll just show you like on my website, right? On Feedback Crunch, you'll be able to dive in and see exactly what's leading to conversions. So you can go into like reports, and you'll be able to see maybe like on your acquisition reports. You go down to conversions on engagements, and here I can show you, I've got, here's my contact form. I had 20 contact forms in the last month. If I were to hit on that, I'd be able to kind of show, where are they coming from? They're coming from organic search, organic video, and direct. That's great. I could get into the acquisition overview. When I get into here, I could say, let's look at view this. And eventually what you'll get is down here, I can see, organic search, direct, organic video, display, and I can show how many users, sessions, engaged sessions, which is basically like are people actually on there. But down here, you'll see conversions, right? So I know I've got, and I have a faulty one in there, which I think I've turned off in the last 7 days here. I put if you viewed a video that used to be a conversion. Now that's not the case. So in the last week here, I've had 12 conversions on my website. 3 came from organic, 2 came from direct, 7 came from organic social, which is basically YouTube, which is where all my stuff, or Facebook and YouTube. So that's why we're doing this, is we're going to make sure that these are right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get in, I'm going to set up the fundamentals of a Google ad account. Okay. So in the Google ad account, here's what we're going to do. Let show the toolbar here. All right. So first off, I'm going to go up to the tools. And the first thing I like to do is I want to go into the audience manager. Okay. I just want to make sure that Google Tag Manager. Now I can take Google Analytics and I can throw this into Google Ads. That, I'm not going to do that right now, but I'm going to do something in here for the audiences. That's going to be one thing I do. But the first thing I want to do now is I want to hook up a linked account to that thing. Okay. So right now they have an old school analytic account. Now what I want to do is I want to come in here, go to tools and settings, go to linked accounts, right? And when I get into linked accounts, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in and I'm going to link a Google Analytics G4. Okay. And basically you'll by doing this, there's a number of things, a number of advantages. Vegas junk removal. Here it is right down here. No, that's not what I want. That's the G4. I got to come up here. Hold on just a second. I'm going to find this. I got 9 million of these. All right, I found it here. So I'm going to link it and I'm going to say, yep, import all the things, link it on up. And that's a good thing to do. Once I do that, I'm going to go back into analytics. The whole idea here is you do want to come into your linked accounts and make sure you've got everything linked up that makes sense. So go to linked accounts. When you're in linked accounts, by golly, you'll want to do that. You'll also want to hook up your search console. So I haven't done that for these guys yet because they're new and I didn't set this whole thing up. But you will want to hook up your YouTube. You want to hook up YouTube, Google Search Console, and your Google Analytics. Make sure that that's all there. In fact, I'm going to disconnect the UA because it's nonsense. UA is about to go away. And anyways, let's just proceed. So that's the first thing. You link those two. Now, the second thing I want to do is in the Google Ads account, come up to setup. We're going to go to Audience Manager. And what we're going to do is, you don't need to do this, but I think it's a good thing. I'm basically going to go your data sources, and I'm going to add in a Google Tag Manager. Okay, so a Google Ads tag. So what's weird here is Google Analytics is a tag in there firing, and we can create an audience out of this. And this is an audience that you would use for like remarketing. Hey, all the people that have been on my website, I want to serve up a Google display ad. I want to show a YouTube ad. This is how you actually do that. Now, the Google Analytics is perfectly fine. I tend to double up on it, and I don't know why. I've seen a little bit of variation here and there. So I'm going to go to the Google Ads tag. So again, it was Tools, Audience Manager, your data sources. We already have the analytics because I just added that, but now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to go Details and make sure you aren't missing user on it. Yeah, this is what's happening. And so this one was already there, but they didn't do it right. So I'm going to go down to the bottom. I'm going to go to Tag Setup, and I'm going to use Google Tag Manager. Okay. So I'm going to hit that. Now what this is giving me is this number here. I'm going to go into Google Tag Manager. I'm going to go into tags. I'm going to say new tag, analytics, or no, I call them JADs, Google Ads, audience tag. Okay. And this is the trigger is going to be all tags, just like that analytics tag. When any page is loaded, then what I want is I want to do this Google Ads remarketing. This guy right here. Okay. So the audience is tied to a remarketing. If I come back here, I'm going to get this little conversion ID, this number right here. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to paste this into the conversion ID. That's all I'm going to do. I'm just going to leave that. We're going to go send dynamic remarketing. That's fine. And then that should be it. We're going to hit save. That's the simple way to do it. Now, there's another thing you must put in here. You're going to go new, and it's called the linker. So I just call it linker. And there's this Google conversion linker. If you don't put this in here, stuff doesn't work. Make sure you put that in there. So I'm going to say enable on all URLs across domains. Enable linking across domains. No, we're good. Triggering all pages. So those two things need to be on kind of no matter what. I recommend having that on there. I'm going to hit publish. And I'm just kind of layering in how I'm doing this. So now what we've done is I've taken that Google Ads tag and I've put that in, and now that's going to be firing. And eventually what's going to happen here is we're going to have a couple different things. What we're going to do now is we're going to go in and we're going to create a remarketing audience real quick. Again, this is the fundamentals of stuff. Okay. So audiences, I'm going to go in and I'm going to say segment, and I'm going to go to your data segment. I'm going to say plus mine. So this data segment is basically going to be a remarketing ad. So if they've hit the website, I know in a junk business, it's pretty transactional, right? We're not going to run ads for 540 days to people for junk. If they say junk removal near me or appliance recycling or removal, bed removal, stuff like that, they hit our website, they look around at some competitors, we're going to want to show up for about 14 days to them. So I'm going to make a couple of short audiences real quick. If you don't do this, folks, if you don't make these audiences, they don't populate and they only look back 30 days. So if you're a digital professional, you should be doing this for them so that they understand, so that they actually have loaded remarketing lists, because you have to hit 1,000 people in your remarketing list before it actually goes. So I'm going to go down to, so again, I'm in tools and settings. I'm going to audience manager, and now I'm I'm going to make a segment. Okay. So I'm going to go to this, I'm going to hit plus, and I'm going to do website visitors. So I can make audience out of people who've been to watched a YouTube video of mine, or I can upload a customer list, or I can go to website visitors. Name these things correctly. So I'm going to call this like junk, Vegas junk, and I'm going to say 14-day all users. Okay. So the name of this is Vegas junk 14-day all user. And this is going to be visitors of a page. I could say visitors of a page who also visited another page, visitors of a page who did not visit another page, or visitors of a page with a specific tag. I don't want any of that. I just want all of them, okay? And then include people that visited a page that match any of these rules. And all I'm going to say is the page URL contains, let's grab their home page. So if any of these pages end up going, it will be an audience. So let's go, whoop. I'm going to take off the end of that. And there we go. So now underneath here, so we're basically, again, we've named it visitors of a page. So anybody that loads a page that contains that URL, which will be everybody on their website, we're going to do pre-fill options. Yeah, it won't really matter, but pre-fill, like if I was just making this new, it would look back for 30 days. Membership duration, this is important. So again, I'm calling this a 14-day. We only want people in there for 14 days because that's just best. So then you have the membership duration. So this is all people that have been on any page that's called this for the last 14 days. And I'm going to say 14 days of all traffic users feedback range, because I'm the one that made it. And hit create custom segment. And that is how you make it. So there it is in your custom segment. Super powerful. Make sure you create those. Now that's just the first thing. So again, I'm just walking you through how I end up doing stuff. I'm going to go back here to the settings and tools. And now I'm going to start playing with the conversions. Okay. We already have the tag manager, or the triggers in Google Tag Manager, if you remember. So the triggers we have right now are if the thank you page is loaded, which is basically being redirected to by the form, then that's a conversion, or that's an event, a trigger. And then if you click to call, those two right now are being deployed in only 2 tags, and it's a G4 Analytics for both to fire, and then that runs all of this. But now we want to do kind of the same thing, but it's going to be a little bit different. So I'm going to go new conversion action, and I'm going to say this is a website. And now this has changed recently. You'll put in your URL. It's going to scan stuff here, and it's trying to make this easier. This is a new 2022 Google Ads. Again, guys, if this is helpful, please make some comments. Hey, good Google Ads walkthrough if this is helpful. I know that's really corny, but so here's the deal. We're just going to go down here. Add a page to load. I think I'm fine. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add a conversion manually. That's what we're going to do. We're going to use Google Tag Manager. We're smart. We're going to use add a conversion manually. Okay. Now we have to say, well, what is this? It's going to be a this doesn't matter that much, but I'm going to say contact. Let's do and then, so contact gives us a conversion name of contact. I don't want that. I tend to keep these the same of whatever I did for the click to call event. So I'm going to go junk click to call just to keep it consistent. Here you could put a value to it if you wanted to really start doing that, but that's more for e-com. This is a service-based business. So every time that happens, so I'm going to do just once because I don't want it firing every single time. Click through window, like this is conversions can happen days after a person interacts with your ad. Select the maximum time for an ad interaction. Well, 30, I almost think 3 weeks I'm going to go with. Engaged in-view conversions, 3 days, that's fine for me. I'm going to leave the rest of this the same. I'm going to hit done and skadoosh. Now notice we still have some stuff we have to do. I'm going to add the second conversion right away here. And this is kind of new. Now I'm going to do, this is going to be submit lead form. I'm just going to grab that name. What was the thing I named the G4 thank you page? That event was called Junk Thank You. Again, I like to put the company name in there so I know what's happening. So the conversion name is this. Don't use a value. Just once. This one I'll do 30 days. I'll do 3 weeks. Because it's a pretty immediate thing. And then I'm going to hit done. Okay. So basically what we're doing, we're loading it all up. You just have to do it this way. And then I'm going to hit say save and continue. So we still haven't done any actual qualitative stuff here. This is kind of new. So I can edit the website code. I'm not going to touch that. Email instructions to your webmaster. If you want to, you can send this to me. But I'm going to go use Google Tag Manager. And this is my favorite way to do it. Okay. So now in Google Tag Manager, we're going to come here. We're going to go. So we're doing a tag. We already got our triggers. Go to the tag. Go to new. And I'm going to say Google Ads. Click to call. The tag configuration is going to be a Google Ads conversion tracking. Okay. Google Ads conversion tracking. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the conversion ID, put it right here. And then these are different. So I'm doing the click to call first. So this click to call right there. Okay. I'm going to leave the rest of this. You don't have to touch it. Go to triggering. When is this triggering? By golly, it's when you click to call. Hit save. Okay. Now we're going to open up. We don't want to go anywhere because we're going to do the same thing again. So I'm going to grab the conversion ID, new Google Ads, thank you form, tag configuration, Google Ads conversion tracking, boom, boom. Thank you. Make sure you don't make mistakes here. We will test this afterwards. We're going to make sure this works. And then we're going to go down to triggering, and it's thank you form. So boom, shakalaka. Let's submit it here. Google Ads, Jads, Gads. We're getting close, guys. All right, so now we did that, and now we want to kind of hit done here. Now, those are not going to work for a little bit. They're going to take a while. The next thing I want to do is I want to come in, and I know that I want to get some of this crap, like just thank you. I don't want that. No, that was mine. Junk thank you is mine. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to edit goal, and the primary action here is, so I don't want this. Do not use submit lead form as an account default goal. I kind of forget what I got to do here, but this is I don't want the business profile. That's fine. So those are fine. So I'm actually going to leave that. This is, if you look at the Google My Business profile form, that's good. We'll do that. Business profile form, business profile tracked call. That's fine. Calls from smart campaigns. That's fine. That's a conversion. Now down here, we have all these contacts. Well, I just have junk click to call is the only one I want there. So I'm just going to come in and I'm trying to shut all these other ones off. Okay. So clicks to call are not, do not call, contact forms, smart campaign, add clicks. See, I'm like the fifth person in this thing. Business profile call. That's fine. Use that. So I am leaving use this as an account default. Okay. And basically and then down here, these are all fine, but I want to look at like book appointments. I don't know what that is. We're going to get rid of that. Oh no, they have a book. No, that's the old analytics. We're not going to use that old one anymore. We're going to use the new one. Local ads, smart campaigns. I think that's all good. So we're good to go there. Now let's go test it. So what we're going to do is we already did that. We got this going. We're going to hit back. All right. We're almost done. with getting this tag manager thing set up. So let's do this preview again. We're just going to go in and we're going to bother my customer and make him think he's getting leads and he's not. It always makes their heart pitter patter. So real quick, I hit preview because I want to test it. The page loaded, check. Analytics code, check. Google Ads tag, check. Linker, check. That's great. We got it all going. All right, so now let's hit this button. Whoop. And what happened when I clicked the link? I knew it was down here. I don't know what these other ones are, but Google Ads, click to call, check. Click to call, check. Now what's going to happen here is when you go up here to conversions, it takes a little bit for these things to like go in here. So first of all, you'd have to be on today to see what goes on. And then what I've found that unless you're running an ad, so notice how it says no recent conversions. Well, that's because we haven't ran any ads. If we were to say in the last 30 days, it'll kind of say no recent conversions, but we have 2, and that's for the ads that have been going from this standpoint or that long, right? So boom, that's what we're going to do. We got Tag Manager open. We're going to verify that that went through. Let's just check my form, which I'm sure it's going to work. And slow. I'm going to go off here real quick. Look at my beautiful face while I fill out my form. I have my autocomplete on right now. And skadoosh. All right, let's go look. Did it work? We got the page. Thank you. Boom. Thank you is now, it's a G4 analytics. That's good. There's the G4 thank you. There's the Google Ads audience tag linker and Google Ads thank you form. Our conversions are complete right there. Now I'm going to show you another little hack real quick. Nah, let's do that later. That's kind of the fundamentals as you get going. You set that up. Now we're going to make some Google Ads for them. That's kind of a different video though. So that's how you set up those conversion actions. Now when I set up ads, I can run them for conversions. And by running them for conversions, they can do the machine learning stuff. And that's really helpful. So good luck. God bless. Like and subscribe if this is helpful. Feedback, wrench, check out. We got a podcast. We got YouTube channel, all this stuff we do. Entrepreneurship. Take care.